quickly shift our focus to something that impacts you and me directly. We know this, Dolo-650. It's the pill that has become a pandemic staple. Well, it's now being popped like candy. And that's not us saying it, that's a doctor saying it. P. Manickam is a gastroenterologist. He lives in the US. He's saying that Indians are taking Dolo like it is Cadbury's Gems. And the internet actually agrees, and I agree as well. From COVID fevers to post-vaccine chills, Dolo-650 has become the go-to for all of us. But what has started as responsible relief may now be turning into reckless reliance. Over 350 crore tablets have been sold since 2020. 350 crore tablets, ladies and gentlemen. That's 400 crore rupees in sales in just 1 year. But while the pharma profits have soared, our sense of caution has nosedived. Yes, paracetamol is safe in moderation. But overuse, it's a silent assault on the liver. And when we self-medicate without diagnosis, we risk masking symptoms that need attention. So tonight we are again asking, is India becoming a nation of pill poppers? Has Dolo-650 turned from a trusted remedy to a lazy reflex? And more importantly, are we self-medicating our way into a public health crisis? Painkiller or silent killer? The Dolo debate continues on the internet. We are introducing it here on the broadcast as well. Dr. Rakesh Gupta is a senior consultant internal medicine at the Indraprastha Apollo Hospital, joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Sanjeev Bagai is chairperson of the Nephron Clinic. Thank you very much. And Bejon Mishra is a consumer rights activist. He's joining us on the broadcast. Dr. Gupta, can I ask you what really is the concern with Dolo? Because honestly, people like me, and it turns out it's not just people like me, but it is it is almost every Indian across this country. We tend to treat Dolo like a multivitamin. Thoda sa bukhar hua, Dolo le lo. You're feeling a bit of fatigue, Dolo le lo. Headache, Dolo le lo. What really is the concern, sir? We thought it was safe.
Dolo is a brand name for paracetamol. Paracetamol is a chemical which we have used in medicine for years, basically for pain, for fever and associated symptoms. So at the end of the day, it's a medicine which acts in a particular way. It actually acts through a way which is called prostaglandins and kind of affects the pain neurons and sensation, etc. Now, every medicine we know has effects and has side effects. This is not like a doctor commented. It's not like a toffee or a chocolate that you can just take it like that. What has become is that in India, you get the drugs over the counter very easily. And thanks to the COVID and all that times which we went through, it became a very easy accessibility, availability, and everybody kind of saw it, and thanks to social media and all, kept on popping the pills. But there's a limitation to what a medicine can be taken into, how much a medicine can be taken, and what could be the side effects. Now, paracetamol, let me put it very easily for simple terms. Dolo comes in two strengths, 500 milligrams, 650 milligrams. Paracetamol comes in two strengths. But the upper limit of using paracetamol in 24 hours is actually not more than 4 grams. So Dolo, if you're taking a 650 milligram pill, generally is not recommended to be taken more than 4 times a day at a gap of at least 4 to 6 hours. So if you suppose have a bit of fever and it's in the middle of the night and you're at home and you take in one pill, that's all right. That's kind of acceptable if you don't have any associated symptoms. But if you think that you would continue taking Dolo for a day or two and hope that nothing will happen, you may be actually causing more harm than good to your body. So it is always recommended that be in touch with your doctor, who can guide you according to whether it should be taken, what should be taken. You must understand, suppose you have fever and you take Dolo or paracetamol, it'll settle down your fever, it'll hide your fever, or it'll kind of decrease your fever. But it does not act at the root cause of fever. Fever is not only because of simply viral fever or something. So it decreases the symptoms, it hides the symptoms, but it doesn't act as a root cause. So you may be actually wasting days and time, basically missing out on the diagnosis of something, which the body is giving a hint that do something about it. It's a fever is one symptom, and one should kind of treat it accordingly. In an injectable way also, let me add, paracetamol, we give it in hospitals also. And the hospitals, it's available in 1 gram strength as well. And you can't give more than 4 grams in a day. It can cause toxicity, poisoning, and it can be a matter of life and death.
Dr. Bugai, but psychologically, ever since COVID took over our lives, we seem to think as a nation of pill poppers that the 500 strength paracetamol or Dolo will not help. It is only Dolo 650 that will help. And therefore, anything happens, as I said, we pop a Dolo. In any case, there is WhatsApp University and there are medical colleges running on WhatsApp universities as well. So everyone will self-diagnose, go to Google, put your symptoms. Usually it will say take a paracetamol or a Dolo and we go along with it. So is it fair to blame the medicine when it is patient behavior and consumer behavior that really is the problem?
Good evening. So I think in India, every human being is born with a medical degree at birth because we self-medicate and we use, abuse and overuse medications. And the most common ones are the painkillers, what we call as antipyretics or NSAIDs. And the other group of drugs is the antibiotics. But focusing on paracetamol, I think this is full compliments actually to the company of who's manufactured Dolo because it's a marketing strategy to the globe. They have marketed it to demarcate between fever and high fever. Therefore, they have said indirectly, not 500 but 650 milligrams. Second is they marketed it that it is very good for pyrexia of unknown origins, fevers of unknown origin. Third is, of course, it's a very different looking tablet than paracetamol, easily to swallow. And if you really look at the Indian mythology, Dolo means take twice. So it's actually a mime which has a mental recall. But any drug which is taken in excess or excess doses or over a period of time can cause harm. It's important to understand that paracetamol is a sufficient drug for fever or pain, but it is not as strong as other NSAIDs. Our aim is to diagnose the cause of fever and not worry about the fever too much as an isolated entity. Long-term use or even sporadic high-dose use of paracetamol can cause anemia, can cause GI bleeding, can cause acute abdominal symptoms, damage the liver, damage the kidney, increase the risk of cancers. And very importantly, we've seen cases even in children who come with acute reactions called as Stevens-Johnson syndrome and other toxic manifestations which are indeed life-threatening. We've also seen this being overused in pregnancy, where there is a direct link between overuse of paracetamol and children being born with autistic disorders. So I think there is a word of caution. Over-the-counter and online procurement of medication has actually ruined the game. But I think we need to drive home the point that every medicine which is taken has certain side effects, has certain doses, has a bandwidth. The commonest problem which I've seen in my group of patients is they want instant relief of fever. Crocin starts acting after 45 to 50 minutes. The duration of span of treatment is short. That means you have to give it every 4 to 6 hours. There is an upper limit of dose. In children, it is 15 milligrams per kilogram per dose. In adults, it shouldn't exceed more than 3 to 4 grams in a day. But more importantly is, if you give a lower dose and then again a lower dose at short intervals, it doesn't act. It is dose dependent because of its protein binding ability. So you have to give the adequate dose in adequate duration intervals. Therefore, WhatsApp universities, homemade doctors, home remedies is absolutely wrong. And I have seen adolescents carry this with the pantoprazole before they go for parties. That's havoc. I mean, you're self-medicating yourself almost every day. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor. But Bijon Mishra, it's not just us. The fact is, and this is the controversy that erupted during COVID. It in fact even went all the way up to the Supreme Court. Dolo was accused of spending as much as 1,000 crore rupees on freebies for doctors to recommend Dolo, and Dolo during COVID times saw their sales increase by almost 300%. So again, I want to ask you, is this great marketing by Dolo that we feel it's a one tablet cure for everything? So is it, is it false marketing by Dolo, or is the problem with the consumer as well? कंज्यूमर को भी तो थोड़ा जागरूक होना है ना, जिसने बेचना है वो तो बेचेगा अपना सामान, आप भी थोड़ा जागरूक रहिए.
Shreya, please respect the consumer. Nobody spends time with the consumer in the manner we are talking today. You see, the poor consumer, my study in 2005, 2006, which I did for the National Pharmaceutical Authority, which showed that almost 60% of the patients rely on the pharmacist than the medical practitioner. Not only self-medication, they go to the pharmacist first because they are not only nearest, they are affordable. Doctors are today expensive. They are unable to reach them. The doctors don't have time to explain like what they're explaining on the television show to the individual patients. So don't blame the patients, firstly. Secondly, there are good laws in our country to adopt good pharmacy practices. Not a single store which is dispensing medicine in my country practices good pharmacy practices as it is deemed to be done as per law. You see, you can get any medicine you want, without any doctor's prescription today. And as you know, recently I just read a report, I couldn't believe it, that in Maharashtra, they cancelled licenses of certain retail outlets because they were not following good pharmacy practices. Now that is what needs to be done. Not that we discuss, and Shreya, I must congratulate you for bringing this because this is my focus. In the last 2 years, I'm again focusing through Jan Aushadhi to not only ensure affordability, to make people accessible to quality healthcare, but also to ensure that we adopt good pharmacy practices which entails good education to the citizens in terms of use of medicines in the manner they should not self-medicate. And why? Because it is dangerous, it is harmful, it is unsafe. So there is a need for big kind of a change in terms of pharmacies to be managed in our country, which is not happening. And the pharmacists, let me tell you, some of the pharmacists are so well qualified. They want to do this, but they are unable to sustain their business because they are not being encouraged and recognized. There has to be a system where good pharmacies should be recognized by the government and good practices should prevail in the country so that the consumer is well protected. So I would not
Dr.
blame the
Bagai, you want to come in? I have
consumer.
20 seconds. I have to wrap the show. Okay, Bijon Mishra, you're saying don't blame the consumer, blame the doctor and the pharmacist. Dr. Bagai, 20 seconds.
Yeah, very quickly. I think it's important for the viewers to understand that sometimes paracetamol, like I said, takes a little bit of time for the effect to come, and then they take a combination painkiller or a combination fever medicine like paracetamol with ibuprofen. Now these things, especially in viral fevers or dengue fever, dengue hemorrhagic fever, can be fatal because it's a double whammy for the liver. You can go into acute liver injury or a liver shutdown, and it damages the platelets. So every medicine must be taken with caution. That's my only request to everyone. Please consult your doctor. If there is any symptom going on more than a day, please consult your doctor. Don't self-medicate.
Okay, but last question, Dr. Gupta, is that even practical in a country like India? Say for in a city like Delhi, everyone is constantly falling in. Now, if you constantly keep going to the doctor, it's a time-consuming process. It's a process that consumes resources and money as well. So the easiest thing is to pop a Dolo. Can you really ask a patient who has fever, 102 fever, कि सीधे डॉक्टर के पास जाओ? वो 2 दिन में डोलो खा के ठीक हो जाएगा.
वो 2 दिन में डोलो खा के हो सकता है हॉस्पिटल में भी लैंड अप कर जाए. So the bottom line is basically that if you can take a Dolo or 2 and you feel you are better with it, you can try that. But beyond that, please consult your doctor. These medicines are harmful. They can cause liver toxicity. I've got innumerable number of patients who have landed up in a mess because of self-medication. Yes, there is a point of yours that doctors are not so accessible, but now doctors are available online also. I think all hospital doctors are available, and the best would be to have a family doctor. That practice of having a family doctor nearby, accessible to you in your community, in your local area, whom you can consult any time of the day and night. But what people want is they want to go to tertiary level hospitals, and there they want to kind of spend X amount of money or time or whatever. The family doctors are your best friends to go for small illnesses and fevers, and they are your best friends to guide you through.
Okay, your family doctor is your best friend if you have a fever, not necessarily a Dolo, is what Dr. Gupta is saying. We leave it there for the moment, Dr. Gupta. Thank you very much. Dr. Bagai, thank you very much. Bijon Mishra, always good to have you on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, it's a wrap from me. Sneha joins you up next with more. Do stay with us.